Hi and welcome to another gaming video, and in today's video I want to talk about ROM hacks, and in particular ROM hacks for the original Game Boy. Now a ROM hack is where you take a game, generally a cartridge, take the ROM and you modify it, and that can be adding sprites, adding new levels, adding characters. Sometimes you even get language translations, and in the case of Game Boy game ROM hacks, it's generally adding colorization to the mono Game Boy games. And if you look at most Game Boy ROM hacks, they add the letters DX to the end, and this is a nod back to Zelda Link's Awakening on the Game Boy, which was a fantastic success, and then Nintendo decided to re-release it in color with some improvements and some additional bits and pieces on the Game Boy Color as Zelda Link's Awakening DX. So when these people do ROM hacks for Game Boy games, they generally add DX to the end. I've got four that I'm particularly interested in at the minute, and the first one is Super Mario Land DX. It's the first one that sort of really took my attention and got me into this Game Boy ROM hack scene. So Super Mario Land DX, it takes the original Super Mario Land, fantastic. I remember playing it when it first came out, and it adds more than just colorization. It is by far the best Game Boy ROM hack that I have seen. It adds new sprites, the colorization on it is absolutely fantastic, it makes it look like an official game. It really is a superb job. I did a video recently on Super Mario Land DX, and then a few days later an update was released, so Super Mario Land DX 2.0, which added even more features such as playing as Luigi, and this really is an absolutely superb ROM hack. So that's Super Mario Land DX, and that's by a very talented hacker modder called Toruzz. And the second one I want to talk about is Super Mario Land 2 DX, and this is once again by the same hacker Toruzz, and he takes Super Mario Land 2 6 gold coins and adds some colorization features and some extra bits and pieces to it. I will say that it's not in the same league as the original Super Mario Land, but the work that's gone into it is superb. Super Mario Land 2 on the Game Boy is one of my favourite Game Boy games. It looks more like a Mario game. I do remember reading that Super Mario Land was developed by a completely different team, so that's why it has a different feel to other Mario games of that era. But Super Mario Land 2, they just looked at the Game Boy and thought the original game was quite different. They increased the sprite size, the graphics were a lot better, gameplay was so much better. With this ROM hack, it adds colour, it just makes it absolutely superb. The third ROM hack that I want to talk about is by a different developer or ROM hacker called Colourisation, and it's Wario Land, which is Super Mario Land 3, but it's called Wario Land, and it introduced Wario as the main character for Mario style platformers. Once again, I loved playing this on my original Game Boy back in the day, and while the colorization isn't awesome, it really still adds so much value to the game, and it makes it a joy to play. I've actually been playing this Wario Land this morning and really got into it. And the final ROM hack that I want to talk about is Kirbys Dreamland by a ROM hacker called Green and a Cat. And this one is a little bit different. Yes, it adds colorization. I'm not saying that it's a bad job, because I have no idea how to do it, so hats off to anyone that does it. But the colour scheming is a little bit different. I know there's been a couple of different versions where they've tweaked it, but Kirbys Dreamland once again was a superb game on the original Game Boy, one I still love to play, and that's some of the reason I looked up the ROM hack for this. It adds colorization, it just makes the game a lot more enjoyable to play. So it's hit and miss with ROM hacks. Some are great, some are okay, some are terrible. With all of them, there'll be bugs and glitches that hopefully they get ironed out as more releases come. But even if they don't, just adding that little bit of colour, adding a slightly different experience to these original Game Boy games and bringing them up to date a little bit. And I've been playing original Game Boy games for decades. The fact that they're mono has never really bothered me, but it is nice to see there are some very talented developers out there that take the time to just spruce up these games, and whether that's just adding a splash of colour or going full hog like Super Mario Land DX and just almost making an entirely new product based on an original game. And Super Mario Land DX, as I've said, is by far the best ROM hack that I've seen for the Game Boy. That's not to diss the other ones, it's just this one seemed to have had way more attention paid into it. So that's a ROM hack. Don't know where you stand legally on those because they are owned by Nintendo or whoever produced the game, but they seem to be freely around online, so go and check them out. That's me. I'm going off to either find some more or play the ones that I've got, and I just can't stop looking for ROM hacks. And it's not just a Game Boy, these have been around for a long time. You can get them for various different systems, and they add different things depending on what game you've got, so check them out. That's ROM hacks. Link, like, subscribe, enjoy.